Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here for episode 3 of our little mini series that we're running between the Christmas and the New Year period for 2022. And the series is what can we do with a length of lace. So we started obviously with our, a length of lace, and we've been making various things. So far we've made the pockets and we've made the little, cluster pieces that we made. And today what I thought we could do is make some little mini booklets or mini kind of journals with lace and cardstock. When I say cardstock, it's not really card. It's kind of like 200 GSM. Although I have got some actual just copy paper here, which I think it would work fine with too. So, please don't think that you have to have kind of really thick paper or anything. I think it would work fine with copy paper as well. So a lot of these have been food coloured and some have been obviously coffee dyed. I think, again, either would work fine. Oh, excuse me, that's not a good start to the video, is it? So I apologise for that. Right, okay, so I've got some of the pieces that we had dyed with the distress inks, and then obviously I've also got some of the original colour. So just having a look, I mean, obviously you can tell I'm now wanting to obviously hoard these bits that we've coloured. I mean, what is wrong with me? Yes, I will try my best not to hoard them. So, for instance, this one. Now, my piece of lace, it's a, oh gosh, let's have a look. It's approximately 5 inches wide. And as you can see, it's scalloped on each side. So, rather than try and do it, this way round, where I would obviously have, a bigger book, I'm thinking if I do it this way round, I would have kind of little mini books, if that makes sense. So, again, it's just all about hoarding the lace, really. So yeah, if I do it this way round, it's going to go further. So all I'm going to do is cut my lace. So I'm going to use this pretty purpley colour. Now this one we coloured, so this is a pale duck egg kind of blue colour. It's very, very pale, I have to say. But we coloured this with the Seedless Preserves Distress Ink, if you didn't see that video. So I'm just going to cut that down like that. Now again, obviously this is junk journaling. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. We're not looking, for perfection. We just want to make something pretty. So going to just chop it down here, just because this edge is very, very curly, or, wonky. So, but like I say, we're not looking for perfection. It does not need to be, absolutely perfect. Now, all I'm going to do is put this onto the piece of paper. Now, because I've got that curly, or the scalloped edge, I may want to keep that showing, kind of overhanging the paper. So I think what I'm going to do is actually cut my paper down so that I have an overlap of the edge. Now I'm just going to check whether I want this on that purple paper or whether I would prefer it on the coffee dyed paper. I mean, I think either is fine. Either looks very pretty. So yeah, I'm just going to go for it on here, I think. So, and all I'm going to do is cut this down so that when I've glued this on here, I'm just going to have a slight overhang. So I'm just going to take that, oops, take that about there. Okay, now I'm not too worried about the size of it height wise, because of course we can trim it down afterwards. It's more that width that, I'm going to try and have that little tiny bit of the scalloped edge showing. So all I'm going to do is then glue my lace onto obviously that piece of paper. So just pop that down. Now I'm just using Anita's tacky glue here. Obviously you can use whatever you like. Fabric tack, that would be absolutely fine. This is fine, whatever kind of you get on best with. Now I'm just going to kind of spread it out a little bit so that hopefully that's going to kind of capture that lace everywhere. Whoops. More or less everywhere. I mean, everywhere is probably a bit of a sweeping statement, but yeah, pretty much everywhere. So if I just now lift that up, I can just see then where I might have gaps or where it needs kind of moving over, so like that. And if you can just see, I've got a little bit of an overhang from that scalloped edge, so just press that down to glue that down. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to one side to dry. But I'm just wondering actually whether I might be better off folding it first. So yeah, I might fold that first. So just to get your little crease where that's going to be just a little pretty book cover, or, you know, little simple journal cover. So I'm just going to put that to one side. So let's do a few of those. So we've got, you know, a bunch of different ones to work with. So got a small piece of the green left. Yes, again, I'm wanting to hoard this. I mean, honestly, what is wrong with me? Right, so again, just cut this little section off. Definitely won't be throwing that away because we could probably use that for something. And then again, just want to kind of cut it this way round so that we're just making tiny little mini books. Okay, so I mean, when I say mini books, I'm meaning something to put in a pocket. I mean, you know, please don't think I'm meaning it's a mini journal. Of course, it's not really, you know, not a mini journal, but just, you know, a little kind of piece to put into pockets, basically. So again, just going to cut that down here like that, and then across here. Okay, obviously I have made a shockingly bad job of cutting that, so just cut that down. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to kind of continue on and make a few of these. I might try this one with the fabric tack. You know, like I say, both is, you know, or both are going to work. It just kind of depends what you've got on hand. But yeah, I'll just try a couple with the fabric tack and see which I prefer. Oh, it's a really cold day, so this is my first video today, so I've not used any glue yet. So I'll just give it a shake to get it to come out. So again, like that. And then I'm just being really super messy and spreading that round with my finger. Obviously, you could be less messy and you could use a glue spreader. I'm not saying that this is the best method at all. Okay, right, whoops. And just place my lace down on top of there. Again, just so as I've got that slight overhang for that pretty scalloped edge there. So I just mop my glue up so that I don't stick this down on the desk. Okay, and then just I'm going to use a fresh wipe to just then press that down. Now obviously this one, so the purpley one I used copy paper thickness. This is that 230 GSM, so it's kind of less inclined to screw up, if you know what I mean. So from the back it's pretty flat because it's got the thickness of the paper or the weight of the paper to keep it, you know, held down flat. So there we go, press that down. Okie dokie. And again, I'm just going to fold that over. Now I'm just folding it first just because, you know, I haven't made these before and I'm just not sure, you know, sometimes it's better to fold after, sometimes it's better to fold before, but because I'm obviously doing this wing and a prayer style, you know, while I'm doing the video, I think we'll just, you know, if in doubt, fold them first. And then it's, you know, completely then, whoops, completely then ready to use. Now, of course, you could obviously take this to the sewing machine and stitch around the edge. That would also be really nice. But, you know, yeah, I may do that with some, but we'll just kind of, you know, do a few without stitching first. So I've got the blue here. So probably could take it to this section here. And again, just going to cut that down. Oops. Again, just so as I've got that scalloped shape showing. So just cut that down there. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Maybe you are doing some crafting, having a nice time. Oh, what's the weather like where you are? It's freezing here, freezing. I have just come back from the school run. Obviously, I'm filming ahead. This will be, you know, going up during the school holidays, but yeah, I've just done the school run. It was very, 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 very cold. Oh dear, I'm such a lightweight, honestly. I mean, I go out wrapped up like some sort of Eskimo, but I'm still freezing. Yeah. Right. I didn't make a good job of cutting this, but you know, again, it's not really kind of worth getting too you know, too fussy about how it is. So there we go. And I'm just going to use the fabric tack again. Okie dokie. So I'd really love it if you're joining in, you know, share how your pockets have gone, how your little lace clustery pieces went. You know, have you got some gorgeous pieces now to include in your journals? And I just really hope that you love these little lacy books that we're making. You know, again, nothing we make is going to be difficult or anything. Some of it might be a little bit on the fiddly side, but that's just the nature of working with the lace, really. But yeah, everything's going to be a very simple project because, hey, that's all I do is just easy peasy projects. Who wants to be stressing themselves and putting themselves under pressure by doing complicated things? You know, crafting should be fun after all, not kind of a time for getting stressed and having to do kind of complicated things. So again, just going to fold this over, and like I say, we can trim these bits down afterwards. So, you know, if you've got overhangs of your lace on the edges, we can trim them up. That being said, I mean, I actually think that looks quite pretty with the lace overhanging. So we might do some and some, you know, we might have some that we trim and some that we don't. Now, I must have obviously coloured, I was going to say I coloured a smaller piece with the walnut stain, but actually I think what it was, we used the walnut stain for the base for all of the pieces that we made. So I'm now down to, obviously I've just got this, you know, my original lace piece, because obviously I haven't got any more of the food coloured paper. So why don't we make a bigger one this time? So we'll make it with the scallops, you know, overhanging kind of the top and the bottom instead. So let's put it here. I'm just again using kind of, you know, using up the bits that we've got here. So just going to cut that in here, and then we'll just take that down like that. Okay, and then we'll just snip this off here. Again, made a shocking job of cutting that. Oh dear, my cutting skills seem to have deteriorated. I've got to be truthful. Right, let me just have a sip of my tea. Oh, I keep on making, you know, horrible cups of tea lately. I don't know about you guys, but my tea's a bit hit and miss. And, yeah, I keep on making it very, very milky. I think what's happening is, you know, I'm just pouring the milk in and a big load sloshes out. So, yeah, I've got a really milky cup of tea here, which is not nice. Not nice. And now it's definitely not nice because it's gone a bit cold, but better than not having any at all, I suppose. So, right, let's cover this. So again, this is that, you know, 200 GSM card / paper, you know, so we've just got a kind of mixture of the two things. So again, just spreading that glue out. Oops. Ooh. Like that. Okay. Let's just wipe my fingers. Right. So I'm just going to put this down here, and then I'm going to trim up the edges, you know, once it's glued in place. So like that, we've got a bit of the pretty scallop then, top and bottom. And then what we're going to do, we just flick that over, and then we can obviously cut a line down here. Now again, just going to have that overhanging slightly because I actually think that's quite pretty. Obviously I've got a bit of a mess going on here, so I'm just going to tidy that edge up. Okay. So yeah, if you're following along, do share below as well, what colour lace have you chosen to be using? Are you using a sort of more neutral colour, or did you pick a coloured lace? You know, share below kind of, you know, what lace you decided to use. And if you used a colour lace, you know, did you colour it with some ink yesterday? In which case, what inks did you use and what results did you get? You know, does it look pretty? Or is it, you know, kind of looking a bit shocking now? Right, now, I have to say, I'm going to just make a tiny one here out of this little piece here. Partly because actually we've got another 3 days to run, and to be honest, I'm racing through my length of lace, and you know, at this rate I'm not going to have enough left to actually do the rest of the series, so I need to kind of now rein it in and yeah, not use quite so much. So I mean, I never thought that was going to happen. I actually thought, you know, oh gosh, I'm going to struggle to come up with enough things to use the lace, but no, instead it's seeming that actually my lace piece wasn't even big enough. I could have done with more. I never thought that was going to be the case, honestly. Okay, so yep, and we will glue that on. So we've got a couple of pieces on the blue, but this one obviously is, you know, is the original lace, you know, the original colour rather than the dyed lace. Okay, I mean, it is fun, isn't it, when you colour the laces, you know, to see the different kind of effects and the colours that you get. You know, maybe we should just do some videos on that, to be honest, because it's really fun and it's lovely to then have all those different coloured laces in your stash ready to use for other things. So yeah, I had a really good time dyeing those laces, I must say, you know, yesterday. And it's the type of thing that, you know, I don't do that often, and I don't know really why. I think in my mind, I think it's going to be really messy, but I mean, actually, using the distress inks, it's not really very messy at all. So yeah, it's all fine. Okay, there we go. Right, so, and again, we're just going to fold this in. Oops. Just do like glue in case I have it stuck on the desk. So we just fold that in like that. Yeah, I was fully intending on cutting these down and not having all those scrappy bits of lace hanging off around the edges. But to be honest, I actually think they look really pretty like that. I don't know about you guys, but I actually, you know, think that looks really, really nice. So I might just have to keep those scrappy edges. So let's pull them in. We have done 5. So, I mean, they took literally no time whatsoever. I mean, I don't know how long I've been filming for, but I think, you know, 15, 20 minutes, and we've already made 5, which is incredible, isn't it? So then all I would do is obviously, you know, just like we would normally do, take some extra sheets and then you can make your little booklets. So just going to take this lovely lilac colour. Yeah, and like I say, this is my food coloured paper. So, and I know I've talked about this before. I mean, honestly, the food colouring, I absolutely love the results it produces, but it's very much a kind of summer project, really, because I like to do it in the garden, you know, just because it is obviously a bit messy. But yeah, you do get some really nice colours. And, you know, it's very kind of, oh, sorry, that's the postman. Hold on a second. Okay, I just hopped off quick enough to just, you know, peer out the window and give him a thumbs up to leave the stuff by the door. So he was really wrapped up as well. He also looked like an Eskimo, I have to say. So, oh gosh, I mean, that would be a horrible job, wouldn't it, at this time of year, to being a postman. I mean, not only would they be really, really busy, but really, really cold. Okay, so that's just my little pages that I'm going to put in there. Whoops. And obviously, you know, they're from the same paper that I used to actually form the booklet. Now, obviously, you could take this to your sewing machine to stitch those pages in, but I'm just going to use my stapler. Like that, okay. And, yep, just staple them in. That one and that one. Oh, I mean, how super yummy does that look? And to be honest, I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous as they are. I don't even feel like they need anything else at all. But, you know, that being said, of course, we do like decorating, don't we? So, yeah, we will put some bits on. But I actually don't think it really even needs anything. It does look gorgeous as it is. I've just got some of my coloured book plates here. Actually, these coloured book plates are going to look really good on some of these, aren't they? Oh, okay, right. So let's take this one. So, Right, let's just cut this out. Okie dokie. Oh, honestly, just hopping off my chair over to the window, I've gone all cold again because obviously I'd kind of got to a spot where, you know, I'd warmed the stool up because I just sit obviously on a wooden stool. And yeah, kind of like was not feeling quite so cold. And now, of course, they've got down and just, you know, fanning the air around, kind of getting down, I think, has caused a draft and it's now really cold again. Oh dear. Right, okay. So I'm just going to ink this around. Now I'm going to ink this in the Seedless Preserves, which is what I use to colour the fabric. So, or the lace. This is obviously, whoops, a lilac-y colour book plate. But I'm just going to literally touch those edges up. So I'm not kind of obviously colouring the piece itself, but just the edges, you know, A, disguise my shoddy cutting, but also to, you know, blend in with the cover itself. So just put that one out of the way. I do love this colour, I have to say. It's absolutely gorgeous. Right. And then I'm thinking, let's go like, you know, all out with lace because, you know, loving using the lace here. So I've got some, well, I say I've got some. Now I'm looking around and can't see any. I should have some ivory lace somewhere here. Oh, yep. Yep, I do have. Okay. So I'm kind of thinking maybe just have that, you know, placed onto the ivory. How pretty does that look? And then actually I've got a couple of those brads. These are those teeny brads, well, when I find them anyway. No, not in that drawer. Here we go. These are those tiny brads that I said, you know, I couldn't get hold of my favourite ones from the range anymore. They seem to have discontinued them. So these are the brads that I've ordered from Amazon, which I had ordered thinking they were going to be the same as the ones from the range. They're not the same. They are a lot smaller. But having said that, they are actually, you know, they are pretty nice. When I first got them, I thought, I'm not going to ever use them because they looked so tiny. But actually they're okay. Yeah, they are usable. I mean, they just looked really tiny and I thought, they're going to be one of those things that, you know, are too hard to use because they're just so minuscule, but actually they're okay. Right. Well, I say they're okay, and of course now, you know, now struggling to actually separate those little stems. Okay. Well, that's only because I said about it, you know, otherwise they'd be fine. It's just typical, isn't it? As soon as you say it, of course, they're going to then start playing up. Okay, oops. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness, I cannot see for the life of me to actually separate that. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, presumably it will separate eventually. I've got the light on because it's a little bit of a dull day. So, yeah, I don't think the light's really helping, to be honest. Anyway, right. Well, I've just poked that just one, you know, in one direction, which hopefully that's going to be fine because it's going to be glued down anyway. So I don't think it's really going to matter too much. So just cut that down like that. Oops. And just get rid of that end. Oops, that end. And then this end here. Okay, just because I didn't want that weird shape showing. Okay, so we're going to put that one down and then that there. Now, can have that either top or bottom, doesn't really matter. Let me just see. Or middle, top, middle or bottom. There was a game show, wasn't there, that said that. I can't remember whether it was blankety blank or I don't know what that was. Top, middle or bottom, it might have been play your cards right even. I don't remember, I'm afraid. Anyway, right. So that's going, oh my goodness, that's going to go there. I can't hold things straight. My hands are kind of not steady enough today. Okay. So, yeah, just literally pop that on like that. And obviously, you know, now that's hot glued down, it doesn't really matter that those stems are kind of poking the same way, because obviously it's just all clamped on there anyway. But how gorgeous does that look? And, you know, although that's a lace cover, I mean, that's really not bulky at all. That's very flat piece. So that would just tuck into a pocket and, you know, just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So, yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And although I said it's really tiny, I mean, it's actually 4 inches high by kind of 2.5 inches. So, you know, it's not as tiny as, you know, I first said. Well, not first said, but, you know, first expected it to be. So that's that one. Let's have a look at another one. So I've got this one here, which, oh my goodness, how yummy does that look? I hadn't intended on just using the coloured book plates here. I was thinking we would be a bit more adventurous and use some other things. But to be honest, these just look absolutely gorgeous on here. So, and obviously when you get the coloured book plates, you get some smaller ones and some larger ones. Obviously these are the smaller size. You know, they're in the same kit, but yeah, these are the smaller size ones, because obviously we've just made very tiny, you know, little books, haven't we? So we didn't want obviously massive book plates on there. Okie dokie. I'll just put this one in. Right, let me put my glasses on again. I don't know why I'd even taken them off, to be honest, but I'm always taking them on and off because I think, oh, I don't want to get too reliant on them. I mean, who am I kidding? I am reliant on them. I have them constantly on my head. I can't see anything now without them. Okay. I might as well just wear them all the time. No, I can't obviously see, you know, further away things. I don't know whether they call that short distance or long distance. I'm never sure which is which, but yeah, I need them for close-up work, not distance things. So yeah, it's just an age thing, obviously, isn't it? Your eyesight kind of deteriorates with age, and yeah. But you know, you don't want to give into it, do you? And you think, oh, I'm not wearing them glasses all the time, and then lo and behold, suddenly you are wearing them all the time. Right, so again, just going to take that pretty bit of ivory lace there and just snip that down. So again, just cut off those little edge pieces. I mean, you don't have to, but I don't want those kind of like, you know, jaggedy edges really. So yeah, let's put that down there like that. Oh my goodness. I mean, how pretty does that look? It's just scrumptious, isn't it? Just going to hold that down with the scissors, just because then it stops it moving around a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Oh, that is so pretty, isn't it? Just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, we didn't put any pages in there. I don't think I've got any coffee dyed paper actually sat here at the moment. So, yeah, I'm not sure I've got any pages that I can actually put in here. So I might have to put these pages in afterwards, but that's fine. I can just obviously grab some coffee dyed pages, fold them over, and just exactly as we did with this one, just staple them in. So that's those two. Let's just try and mix it up and just put 1 or 2 other things on, shall we, rather than just all the coloured book plates, because that just seems a little bit boring, doesn't it? Okay, I've got lots of labels here which might be really nice, or I have got my circles here which I'm thinking might be quite pretty too. So let's have a look. Oh, got this one on, it's not vellum, it's, what's the other stuff? You know, the transparency film. So, yeah, just have a look and see. Oh, I quite like that one. Yeah, that one's really nice on there, isn't it? So let's just put these to one side. So these are just obviously my little circles. Oops, now put them in with the labels. Oh my goodness. Honestly, even when I'm trying to be organised, you see, it's just all out the window, and suddenly before I know it, I put things in the wrong pouch. So I've got now circles mixed in with the labels. Right. Okay, again, going to just very lightly touch this with that peeled paint. So this was what we obviously used to colour that fabric or that lace. So just a little bit around the edge. I don't want to kind of smother it in green and have it as a green piece, but just little tiny touches of the green just around those edges. Okay. Oh, how scrumptious does that look? It just ties it in, doesn't it? Without the, you know, the green kind of on there, it looked okay, but obviously the green has kind of brought it all together and, you know, tied it all in. So I've got that. Now I'm just going to see whether we could have maybe some ribbon or something as a closure. Do you know, for the longest time I had a really, really, really long length of this kind of green, you know, organza ribbon, and I'd bought it on a really long length, and I think I went halves with my friend, and we, you know, we split it, and we still had tons and tons and tons of it. And like with all these things, it's just suddenly gone, and now suddenly I've got none of it left. So I've gone from like tons and tons to now literally none. So I'm just wondering whether we could either have this, which would wrap around, which looks, you know, quite cute, or what we could do is obviously have half and half and then tie it on the side in a little bow. So, you know, just again for a bit of decorative, you know, yumminess. So I'm just going to cut that here, and then we'll just cut that in half like that. So this is going to go obviously underneath that, oops, underneath that butterfly. Again, obviously I haven't put my pages in here yet. Just turn that over because I just noticed I've got a little like defect there on the lace. So going to hold that in place there like that, and then when I glue the circle down, that's going to hold that ribbon in place. So like that. Okay. Okie dokie. And then to put the ribbon down on the back, what I will do is just take that like that, take the ribbon. Now, obviously, you know, you want it kind of the same height. And then I think what I'll do is just put a little tiny bit of lace over the top, and we could either have, you know, this kind of contrasting lace, or we could obviously use a little bit of the green. Now, I'm sure the green was what I actually cut off. Oh, yeah. Lucky I didn't throw that away, you see. It did come in handy after all. When I cut it off, I had no clue what that was going to be used for, but yeah, it's going to be perfect for this. So again, just going to obviously glue that ribbon down into place vaguely there. Okay, like that. And then I'm just going to snip this down slightly, just because it is actually quite big. So, well, when I say big, I mean, it's not really very big, but yeah. Okay. And that can then just glue over the top of that, which is obviously just covering where that lace, where that ribbon is glued down. You know, you don't really have to do that even, because it doesn't look, you know, it doesn't look ugly or unsightly or anything like that. But yeah, just if, you know, if you wanted to cover it up, that's just a nice way to cover it. So just literally put that down onto there like that. Okay. Let's just take my wipe and just glue that down. Okie dokie. And to be honest, I might just go in very quickly around the edges, just with the hot glue, you know, for any corners that might be lifting of that lace. So, and then what you've got obviously is your little, whoops, closure. Now, again, I haven't put any pages in here yet, but, you know, I can do that kind of after the video. You know, it's going to be exactly the same. That we're just going to obviously cut them down and staple some in, or, you know, stitch them in, or however you like to attach your pages. Okay. And that's your little closure on the side. Obviously, you can cut that down if the ribbons are a little bit long. I think mine are a bit long, really, but they look okay, don't they? It's not kind of like terrible. But yeah, they are perhaps a little bit on the long side. But how gorgeous does that one look? It's just a sort of slight variation really, isn't it? So yeah, really, really pretty. Okay, let's move that out of the way. So let's do the big one, because obviously, you know, we've done a few now of the tiny ones. So let's have a look and see what we're going to put on the big one. Now the big one, obviously this is the, you know, the duck egg colour, the original colour of the lace. So I'm just having a look. Oh my goodness, that might look very pretty. This is just from the Red Birds. I think it's called Red Birds. I'm now wondering whether it's not called that, but kit that's in my shop. It might not be called Red Birds. I do apologise. Okay. Oh, that looks very pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, we could have that. I mean, alternatively, I have got some of my Marabella pieces here, which we could use. Oh, I don't know now. Do we want to go for blue? I mean, I thought this looked really pretty, but yeah. Now wondering actually whether one of these might look prettier. Oh, it's a tough decision, this one. Okay, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it off of the border. And I might just cut it slightly smaller as well, just so that it's not quite taking over the whole cover. Oops. Like that. And do you know what? You could even mix this in with a book plate. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't have both on there, to be honest. So, yeah, if we had that. Just going to cut it down slightly more. So I might cut it over on this side. So that window is, you know, off centre a little bit, because I think that would look really pretty. Oops. Again, not making a good job of my cutting today. I'm not saying I do normally, but yeah, worse than ever today. What did I do with those coloured book plates again? There we go. Just see whether I've got one of those duck egg colour ones. No, and of course I don't have. Oh. Yeah, I've got number tabs now mixed in with these. And that's how it goes on, isn't it? Yeah, that's how we get all these things mixed up. There are some little duck egg blue ones in this set of the coloured book plates, and unfortunately I don't think I've got any. I mean, that's a sample of them, which obviously would have gone really nicely. But yeah, I don't think I've actually got any now printed off. Oh, I need to print off some more of these. That's another thing that I need to do. Oh, I have got the backs of these. I mean, I could... Well, I could tear that out, I suppose, couldn't I? Okay. I mean, again, you've got the kind of versatility, so I'm just going to, yeah, tear this one down. Oops. Like that. Okay. Oops. That's not brilliant tearing, but it will do. There we go. Oh, my goodness, how pretty does that look? Love how that looks. It's very delicate looking, isn't it? Very pretty. So yeah, let's have that one. Now, just wondering again whether we want to kind of like have this backed onto maybe some of that ivory, the ivory lace or anything. Honestly, I mean, lace upon lace, but hey, you can never have enough lace is what I think. So let's smother it in lace, shall we? Or could back it onto some other paper. So let's just see what paper I've got here. Whether I've got any paper that would be suitable. Not really. Got some sheet music. I mean, that might be quite nice, but it might be a bit weird with the sheet music kind of just semi-showing. Let me just tear a little bit down and just see how that looks, because yeah, it might look okay, but it might look weird. Okay, let's just put that there. Okie dokie. Just tear that one down on that edge. I mean, you don't need very much, obviously, overhanging, but yeah, just a tiny bit like that. I don't know. I can't decide whether I like that or not. I was wanting to keep it a bit more kind of neutral really and not have things like that, but I don't know. Maybe it looks nice on there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Again, wish I could hear you guys and I could hear your take on it, whether you think that would look pretty or not. I mean, to be honest, it looks quite pretty even just like that without the piece at all. So perhaps I should just go for it without the centerpiece at all. I wonder if I should have it on there instead. Oh, this is very tough to decide. Let me just have a look and see. I wonder whether I'd be better off with, like, you know, a wax seal or something like that on here. So if I just took this one, for example, and just, you know, cut this one down. Okay. Like that. Oh, I've just suddenly gone chilly again. Every now and then I just get, it must be like a draft or something, and it's, yeah, it gets really chilly again. But, you know, it's fine. It's not too bad. Right, let's put that one down there. So there is a little bit of lace here, but it's very tiny. It's not kind of, you know, dominating it or anything like that. But, yeah, it just kind of is adding a little bit of prettiness, but not kind of too much. So like that. And then this, I'm thinking we could just have something pretty here. So either a wax, oh sorry about that, either a wax seal, that's probably a bit dark, or I've done all these wax seals now and I've still never got the right colour. You know, it's just typical, isn't it? You've, you know, never got the right thing, have you? No, still haven't got the right thing. Oh, just suddenly spotted this flower just floating about in there. Oh, that might be quite pretty. Could have that. I mean, that is bulking that out because that flower's not a particularly flat flower. So I might be better off not using that. Let's just see. Just thinking now, maybe those circles, if I used one of the tiny circles, like the 1-inch type ones, maybe I'd have one that, you know, colour-wise might just look okay on here. So, oh, what about that one? I mean, I could have done with, obviously, what's the word? You know, glossy accent in this or something. Because at the moment it's just card, which probably is not all that exciting. Oh, that one's quite pretty. Yeah, I mean, obviously in an ideal world, I would have obviously glossy accented that and then it would look better. But yeah, something like that. I haven't quite decided, but something like that on there I think would look quite pretty. Oh, you know what else I could try actually? So if I didn't want to use a circle, I'm thinking, you know, those wax cabochons that we've made. So let's just see if I've got any of these that would be a good colour. No, that one's quite dark. Oh. And this is, of course, why we need to make so much stuff, isn't it? Because no matter how much stuff we've got, it's still not quite the right thing. That one I think looks quite nice on there. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I quite like that. So let's just pop that one down. Okay, so like that, and then here. Now, obviously, again, I have not put the pages in this, so I will do that kind of after the video. You know, by, again, just exactly the same method. So either staple some, you know, coffee dyed pages in, or of course, you know, take it to the sewing machine and that would all be fine. So yeah, I mean, really, really pretty, isn't it? So yeah, I will probably leave it there because I've lost track now of how long we've been filming for because of the postman, obviously, and where I had to stop the video. But I've just got one more left to decorate. So, you know, not too bad. But super simple project. Very, very quick and easy. Obviously, I don't do anything difficult. So, of course, if it's on my channel, it's going to be quick and easy. But yeah, I hope that you like them and maybe you feel inspired. I hope you're working along, you know, with me. And if you are, I really, really hope that you're having a lovely time and making some yummy, scrumptious projects with your piece of lace. And yeah, 3 days to go and not that much lace left, I have to say. So I might have to start trying to be a bit more frugal with it now, because otherwise we're not going to have enough for the 3 days. But anyway, yeah, hope that you liked the episode and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic day and see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.